Hey everyone, welcome back to Pearls of Wisdom. I hope I can get through this video. Oh, my sinuses have been going crazy for like the last week or so, so I can feel a sneeze coming on. But anyway, I just been trying to get so many things done and going in so many different directions. It's kind of funny how all of a sudden it's like, oh, I got to this and I got to that. I think I have really long to-do lists, but I was wondering, it's like, well, do I have any goals? And I do have goals. I did get some coursework, but I started watching it, and now I'm trying to do so many things on the to-do list that it's hard to get back to the coursework. And then now I'm like freaking out, like, oh my gosh, the prices are going up and I can't learn this fast enough to get in. And then I'm distracted by just all the news out there right now. And it's kind of funny because we each have, different channels that we follow trying to, keep up on the news and know what's going on. But it seems like there's so many distractions too to keep you away from, the heart of what's really important out there. Like the, World War III, is that going to be coming on? But, we're distracted by the hunter thing, and now, oh my gosh, she's talking about pardoning Fauci. I think the world is going to flip out if he does that, because Fauci has committed so many crimes against humanity and animals and all the things that he has done. He's just, in my opinion, just an evil, wicked person that needs to be shut down. He shouldn't be able to continue on the same path of what he's doing. And then you hear about that United CEO, Brian, I think it was Thompson, getting shot. And, there's talk about nefarious things going on, behind the scenes there, where some people think he was a hitman, but that shot him, but I'm kind of thinking that it's somebody that experienced a loss, either through life or financial, and he's just taken revenge. You've heard that story a number of times, but it just kind of makes me wonder. It's like, I've spent so much time following all these news stories that I'm like, oh my gosh, that's all I do, for the majority of the day. And at the end of the day, I'm like, I didn't get anything done. And it makes me wonder, it's like, why do we get, on these channels? And I mean, I see some, and I'm guilty of it. Some of the channels, they've got hundreds of thousands or millions of viewers, and everybody gets on there and just kind of jumps on the bandwagon, and it stirs a lot of people up. And I was wondering, why do we do that? Is that kind of our voice, and kind of like the little teapot where you build up steam, and that's your avenue to spurt a little steam off? But it doesn't seem like we're accomplishing anything to solve any issue. We just keep, focusing on the same issue, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, but there's no resolution. And I guess that's tied into law of attraction, which, I always knew, the premise of it. I just didn't know that there was an actual term for it. And that's, whatever you concentrate on, that's what you draw to yourself. And so when you put attention towards a matter, just say like say drunk driving, for an example, like MAD, the Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. Well, then all of a sudden it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's not solving the issue, but it enhances the issue. So I find that, pretty interesting. But I don't know what the solutions are, because I find myself sitting here like, really, some of the, like, these pardons, and that they're not going after Biden. They're not going to impeach him because they say they don't want to spend the money, and it's like, well, look at all the crimes he's committed, in term. Or the underhandedness of all these other politicians in there, and especially like Pelosi. I mean, you can name off all of them, Obama and Clinton's, and they don't go after them, but yet the judicial system was weaponized against one person. And it's like, oh, it makes me so angry because I want to see justice served. And like I told you, I'd gotten my criminal justice degree, and what I was seeing, is that I think it was, if I remember correctly, it was like 90% of the cases were settled out of court. And, because they didn't want the cost, or didn't want to have to jail anybody, because the cost of, they were overcrowded. And it's just like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Just like they're letting all these illegals go free for all the crimes that they're committing. And I just couldn't take it, because I'm like, this is not justice. Lady Justice, I mean, she had a tip scale and a blindfold, and we're still seeing it, that it's like, wait a minute, there shouldn't be anybody that's above the law, but it seems that everybody in government or anyone associated with them are. And I want to see, more justice in this world. And I don't know, maybe it, they say that you're supposed to love everybody and, be forgiving and all of that, but it's just like, I don't know, I'm conflicted with that, because, I mean, maybe I could, love them through God's eyes, as a spirit and a creation, of Him, but the physical entity here on earth that is doing evil things, I struggle with seeing that as, why do I have to love that? I don't, maybe it's a distinction between the person and the behavior, but I just don't feel that. It's like some things are just hard to forgive, and it makes me wonder, it's like, okay, did this really come from God, or is this something that has evolved over the years and through the translations got changed, and is this man's way of creating control over men? I don't know, but I'm just like, I'm okay with not having to like everybody, or to love everybody, or to forgive everybody. And where I fall short, it's like, okay, I'll just hand it back to God. And it's like, well, if you want this for me, well, then you're going to have to plant it, but I'm putting it back on you, because your love is way greater than mine. So I find that really interesting, because I don't know if you've ever noticed, but if you have a dog, or have ever had a dog, your dog doesn't even like every other dog, and you're wondering, like, wow, my dog's never been like this to another dog before. Why? I don't know why it hates your dog. Well, should that not tell you something? It's like that we should maybe learn from that behavior. I don't know, but I don't know, this is just crazy. And like I said, I've been derailed just watching all of this stuff, and I lost focus on myself, and because everything that's in the news is not going to perpetuate me forward. And not that I'm trying to be selfish, but I'm not seeing that the things that are out there are offering a solution, or it's not going to get me to the path that I want to be on for myself, or create any other loving environment. So I guess I need to bring my focus back, onto my goals and how I want to proceed forward. So, let me know, how does that affect you? Do you get all wrapped up in all of these stories and, jumping into all these podcasts and just jumping in, chiming in with everyone and, voicing your opinion, and then are you realizing that there really isn't any solution out there for change? I don't know. It just is like, so I think I need to back off. I'm trying to be, supportive of, some of the few videos of people starting out. So I'd like to do that, but I'm like, okay, I'm missing out on things, and time is just flying. All of a sudden, I had all these things that I wanted to do by a certain date, and here we are, like, oh my goodness, like this morning, I realized it's like, oh my gosh, I had made tinctures last year, and I'm just straining them now because I'm like, oh, my sinuses are so bad. I'm like, okay, I got to get my tincture out and see if it's actually going to work. So I made a golden, I think it was a goldenrod, golden seal. Ooh, oh, I forget now. I had so many tinctures that I was working with this morning. And that's supposed to be good for sinuses. And I took a couple drops, but we're not quite there. It's not a magical cure-all. But all of a sudden I started doing that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like 12:30 and I haven't done my coursework yet. So does anybody else go through that? And what are your thoughts on getting wrapped up in all of the news, and that there's not any solutions, that it just gets everybody worked up? And let me know what your thoughts are on that. So I guess that's really all that I have to say today. I suppose I better run back. I've got a tincture straining, and I want to get on to my coursework and a couple other things yet today. So anyway, I hope you have an excellent rest of your day, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.